Hi, this is Jackie Murray with Ask a Tech Teacher. I'm here to guide you through the 32 lessons of the Structured Learning Kindergarten Technology Curriculum. We're on lesson 14 this week, and this is the first of two lessons on shapes. This should tie very nicely in with what students are doing in their class about shapes. Now, you may be ahead or behind or right on, spot on with shapes. If you're ahead, then you can preload for the classroom teacher. If you're behind, then you review. Let them know you covered this a couple weeks ago and this is a review. So it can be a formative review to see what they remember about shapes. How you teach this lesson will depend upon whether you're preloading or reviewing. So be clear on that. If you're reviewing, you don't want to teach too much about shapes. If you're preloading, you want to give them that background that the classroom teacher would want them to have, or the rest of your grade level team. There aren't very many new words. Of course, there's the shape words, but they probably were introduced to these. Maybe not, then that's your job to do in this lesson. The rest of these are about drawing, which they have done, so that shouldn't be a problem. These are basic problem-solving skills in the problem-solving column. Monitor doesn't work, can't get their name on the page, program disappeared. Let's see, shapes are filled in. Okay, show how to make it a no fill. Depending upon the program you're in, it'll let you do an outline of the shape or fill it in. So help the students see how to do those two different activities. Okay, new creating shapes. Okay, scaffolding, but you are definitely, they've used drawing programs, so you don't have to teach that to them. Pre-keyboarding, they are in the midst of that, and they have spent many of the previous 13 lessons on digital citizenship for a couple minutes or longer in there. So they should be able to go on their internet sites that deal with shapes and do it safely and privately. So essential question, how do shapes relate to the real world? Shapes help me understand objects. And that's what you're going to show them, how you can look at an object and come up with uh, shapes that make it up. Helps in drawing it, helps in understanding it. So be sure that you have talked to the grade level team to find out what shapes they are talking about in the classroom, because those are the ones you want to focus on. Okay, assessment strategy is kind of normal because this is not an assessed lesson per se. It's more anecdotal assessment. Okay, they can start with brown bear typing to warm up on their typing while you get everything together in the class, and then discuss shapes with them. And whether you're talking for the first time about it or whether they're sharing what they remember was discussed in class. There's 3 activities in this lesson that you can pick which one works best for your students: shape, template, drawing shapes, or drawing letters with shapes. So you decide what works best for them. Here's the template. And the way you use this, you can either use this as the legend and get them used to that word, and then you'll give them a template, not with these shapes all put in, but just with the legend showing, okay, triangle, draw that in green, diamond, draw that in pink, oval, draw that in orange, and have them draw on there. And let's see what their template in here is. Their template here has it filled in because we weren't sure what you'd want to do. They could almost draw it in here though, if you wanted. If you had this list up there, and then they went to this little box here, zoomed in a little bit, and then drew their shapes in here, color-coded for what you have here. Okay, or you can draw the shapes, and then they have to color them in with the colors over here in the legend, whichever you want. Now, use the drawing program they're used to using. It might be KidPix Paint, Tux Paint. If you have Chromebooks, it might be one of these 3. If you have an iPad, it might be one of these 3. Doesn't matter which one they use, because you'll adapt if needed for the tool that you're using. But I think most of them will let you draw basic shapes in different colors. Okay, and then that's about it. They can take a screenshot to save it and then share it out with you, or publish it, print it if that's what you do. Whatever way you save things is how you'll ask them to do that. Okay, drawing shapes. So you might ask them to draw a good representation of a shape, rather than with this one, they're just kind of, they'll probably get a tool that does a rectangle for them. Maybe not. Maybe they'll have to draw the diamond like this, and see how funky that diamond is. We'll show them how to do a diamond by going to the midpoint of the sides, and they have a much better diamond. It's also a rhombus if you tilt it a little bit. But I don't know, if your students aren't introduced to rhombuses yet, then you'll stick with diamonds. But this shows them how to. They also have this in their lesson, so they can see how to draw it and have them draw it that way. And then any of these others, the square, have them draw from corner to corner. The oval is kind of draw from, instead of straight lines to the midpoints, have them draw circles. But figure out, or ask them, how would I draw this as well as possible? And have them draw those. Okay, let me get back to the teacher manual. And then shapes and letters. This is very fun. If you're working on letters in your classroom, which most kindergartners do until midway or further in the school year, have them start by going over the letters that you're talking about in your grade level. And have them go over those letters. And then they're going to draw some of them. Well, here's your iPad sites if you're going to do, if you're an iPad school. So, and then have them draw them using the shapes. So you can see how the basic shapes they have would go into making a letter. So if you wanted to turn this rectangle into an F, how would you do it? Have one of the students come up and take that on the smart screen and then draw it. And kind of erase that, maybe it doesn't erase well, but do it that way, and then draw their name using shapes, and let them do that, and then take a screenshot of it. And those are fun to post, save to their digital portfolio, post around the classroom, or put on a digital gallery to share with parents. And that's about it. I think if you have extra time, students, let's see what you have for them. Oh, these are fun. They can go to the exit ticket, check the neighbor station to make sure everything is as it was when they arrived, so it's neat and orderly. They can also check to make sure their neighbor saved correctly. You know, if you have extra time, you might draw a shape and then have them add something to the picture that's above, below, beside, in front of, behind, next to. Use the words that you're studying in your literacy section of your classes, and have them put something, here's their name, and then put something above it or in front of it or behind it, and see if they can figure out how to do that. And that's really about it. All right, guys. Let me know if you have any questions. I always look to our discussion board to see who has questions, and I try to answer them within a day. And I also look forward to seeing you at office hours if you can make those some week. Just let me know. You need to tell me a day in advance so I can schedule it. Okay, guys, talk to you soon and have a great week. Bye.